Therefore, you can't see them or hear them. That's why they're immune, because they haven't said anything or done anything. Now, who sits in front of the actor on the stage? The clerk of the court with a computer. Now, what do you see her do? The whole time the judge is up there with his computer screen. He's typing here like this. He's telling the judge what to do, because she's on your plane and she's the puppet master, and he's the actor being told what to do. So the clerk of the court, who takes the paper? Right. Who takes the clerk of the court takes your money, gives you a receipt. That's called banking. You go to the bank, the teller at the bank takes your money, cancels your check, gives you money, which is doing a transaction. Just like ordering food at a restaurant. You order your food, the waitress writes it down on a piece of paper, which is a bill of lading, takes it back, brings out your food, gives you a receipt. If your MasterCard, you sign it. If it's cash, you take it up to the cash register. You do banking. She gives you a receipt. You give her money. You pay for your cargo. You go to the court. You hand her the vessel. You see a space. The vessel comes to the port of the court. The vessel gets docked. Therefore, we put a docket number on it, docking the vessel. You pay $350 docking fee, and now you have a document. DOC, DOC, DOC. You see, we're using the terminology and bringing things into first-person knowledge now, so you're aware of what's happening. When the document comes to the port of the court, the document has a stamp on it. The stamp is autographed by the postmaster delivering the vessel to the port of the court, who also puts a stamp on and signs it. Therefore, we have postmaster to postmaster docking a vessel. The vessel is an independent. Now, this is something some of you know or don't know. All judges are actors. They do not become a judge until they autograph this document. If they autograph the stamp of this document, then they are the judge on the case. A judge who does not sign this document is not a judge. When you walk into the courtroom, the judge is up there and says, "Did you sign the paper?" The judge says, "No." That's not the judge. That's an actor. Who did sign your paper? The clerk of the court did. She's the judge. So you can say, "Judge, you're not on my plane. Get out of my courtroom." Now, when I walk into a courtroom, I walk in there and it says, "Judge, you're excused." I'm going like, this is a state court. I'm in charge. I said, "Bailiff, I deputize you as my tip staff. Arrest the judge for trespassing in my courtroom. I have a federal oath. I have a federal oath of office. I have it in my possession. I've signed the stamp. I'm on a federal plane. That's a federal flag. This is a federal court. We're here for money. This document says there's money on it. This stamp is $1 stamp on it. This is postal money. We're in a postal vessel in dry dock under a postal stamp. This is a federal flag. I says this vessel has jurisdiction, and I have an oath of office that matches this contract. I am the only standing federal judge in this courtroom. Arrest that man as an imposter." That judge is usually running out the door as fast as he can get before the bailiff can get a hold of him. Then I turn and I says, I've syntaxed the district attorney's paperwork here, and now I'm prosecuting the district attorney for a $25 million fine and 30 years in prison for false and misleading statements to damage a citizen. And about that time, he's running out the door. And if he's standing his ground, then I got the bailiff arresting him. And if you've been in court and you've seen this happen and that, you're going like, never seen that before. The other attorneys do the same thing. When I was in Australia, we did this. And a district attorney, my client was a dwarf, stood 3 feet 9 inches tall. And when she walked in there, everybody kind of got out of her way. And I was there, and the judge goes, "Are you a representative?" And he says, "No, sir, I'm a claimant." "Well, who's that?" And he says, "She owns the property. I'm a claimant on her property." "Well, you're not on title." I syntaxed the mortgage contract for New South Wales. I says it's false and misleading. I says, because I syntaxed, I'm a claimant on the document for false misleading statements. I syntaxed the prosecuting attorneys who wants to foreclose her property. This man has committed a felony against this court. He's got a second grade reading level. Doesn't have an oath of office. He's not a barrister. I don't know what he is, but he's got a wig on. He looks like a clown, personally. And this guy is like, how can you talk to me like that? I says, because I'm a federal judge in New South Wales and I have a federal oath, and we're in a state court, mind you. And I says, and as a state, it says, you may be a state judge, but you're not on our plane, therefore you've not come to court. Clerk of the courts, I says, I hereby deputize you as my clerk. I says, bailiff, I says, you're now my tipstaff. I says, this is a federal court. Arrest this person for treason against the people. Arrest the judge for impersonation. And the judge stands up and goes, we're going to continue this for another 45 days. I said, you can't continue anything. I already arrested you guys. You're out of the picture. And this guy turns to these 12 barristers sitting behind him and he goes like, this guy just handed my head to me in a basket. He goes, do something. And they all took their coats and pulled them over their heads, and they're all talking through their coats going, he's your problem. When you file a lawsuit, this is just a copy of one of my oaths. What I do is, we have a stamp on one side because it has value. We have a flag making it federal. And this is an authentic oath, and I think this one is this is my Hawaiian oath of office. And this makes me a federal judge in Hawaii. And when you put value on the front, you have to endorse the top of the back, just like you endorse the top of your checks at the bank. Now, the reason, what is an endorsement? Okay, we write. Now, if this was 75 feet long, we'd call this, as a single document, we'd be bonded. We roll it all up, called a scroll. And so, now that it's been rolled up, we put the wax seal on here, going all the way back 6,700 years, and the king would then use the ring to put the seal on. And the ring, the seal, was the same as an autograph. And when you unwrap it, the seal is at the top of the back of the value. Therefore, you have an endorsement. That's been practiced for 6,700 years without fail. So therefore, it's legitimate. Okay, you got 45 days, trust law, offer, 45-day answer. The state court?
County.
State court. Then you've got... That's 90. If you add 45 to that, you get 135. So that doesn't work. So what they're doing is there's a 10-day offer, a 10-day answer, a 20-day answer, and a 10-day response. That gives you 120, and then you've got your 3-day rescission law. That would make it 123 days, which would expire. So he had to make it at 122 days. So he was under the 1-day limit under the rescissions law. Otherwise, he'd be in violation of notice. This is an offer. This is an acceptance. These are two 45-day trusts running. This is a vacated contract on its face.
Okay,
it's not legal.
Later in the conversation, you lightly mentioned it again, and you say because then it would be under the new Judge Reed.
Okay, what you have here is this. You have a... everybody okay with this, or do you want to get into more of this? There's events that are taking place that are becoming more and more relevant to the relevancy of what quantum language is and its importance in the timeline of this planet, and why I'm allowed to teach this, and how specific events have taken place that I've uncovered in contract language like the beginning of the post office, how the